Welcome to the Aspiring Authors Lab. Thank you for joining me. Can I truly make a difference? I have often been asked the question by aspiring authors, the reason for holding back from sharing their brilliance. They are thinking that there are so many books already written on the subject that there's no room for their book. And this is totally not true. It is a myth that should be debunked with you thinking there's no room for you in the marketplace. There are 7.7 billion people in the world, and according to stats, there are 63,000 Google searches every second of every day. Hello? There is lots of room for you in your book. These are some of the subjects that I teach in the membership lab. I take you step by step through each process. It's well worth your time and investment. I will touch on this later, what is available to you in upcoming broadcasts. I'm Gertrude Chapman. I'm an inspirational book coach, international speaker, author, and entrepreneur. I help aspiring authors to write and package their first successful book. After you do it one time, it's easy to repeat the same steps. After writing many successful books, people always ask me, Gertrude, how do I write my book? So I decided to teach those who have a story to tell. I believe everyone has a story that can be of great value to others. Everyone has knowledge that is worth sharing with others to solve a problem or avoid a situation. Today's topic is Aspiring Author. Let your voice be heard. When you go into a grocery store, how many different brands do you see of any product that's right there on the shelf? Even the department stores where you shop for clothing and housewares and appliances, how many different brands do you see? So, how is that any different from the books on the same subject? Aspiring author, let your voice be heard. Your voice, personality, and delivery of your message to your audience is unique to you. Just because someone is famous for their writing ability does not make them any better than you. All that writer did was recognize what they had and develop their resources. Understand, you are a resource. On the other hand, with you thinking that there's no room for you to write your book, you're hindering yourself thinking that way. That no one's interested in what you intending to write, and that is so far from the truth. Your knowledge and experience, okay, your knowledge and experience are unique to you and you alone. Your expertise. I was no different from you because I thought this at one point in my life. I would hold myself back and never would express what was on the inside of me. And I was doing myself and others a disservice. Your audience is waiting for your voice and personality to open the doors to their understanding in your expertise. Let me give you some tips that your ideal audience needs. So right now, I want you to find something to write with, pen, notebook, paper, whatever you could find to write with, because you're going to refer back to this. Something's going to come up and you're going to refer back to this because this is very good. This is something that I prepared from my own experience. My own experience. So, are you ready? So let's dive right in. For your audience, you need tip number one, a condensed format. Because your audience, they don't have the time to search the internet because they are living busy lives. That does not mean that you condense your writing, okay? Don't condense your writing by cutting out stuff, steps, vital steps. I said a condensed format. That means you leave out all the empty words and empty stuff, but you give them all the steps. You give them all the steps. And we're going to talk more about what you write, particularly what you write if providing people with information. We're going to talk more about that, and I want you to stay tuned for that. I don't know when I'm going to talk about that, but we will talk about that because that's all a part of the Aspiring Authors Lab. But what you do, you simply gather all the pertinent information from your knowledge and experience in your industry and put it out there where people, you're not going all around the bush, and back and, to the right or to the left, but you're going straight to the point. Because people are looking for this information and they need to, we all busy. We need to find it now. We don't need to, have all this fluff and everything in there. We need to get straight to the point and find it, now, because they need something right now. Okay, not later, but right now. Tip number 2, you are an expert that is there for them. Again, not giving them fluff, but authentic information to solve a problem or avoid a situation to enlighten their understanding. You're there for them. You are an expert. And you have to see yourself as an expert. You know some things. You may not be thinking right now, but you know some things. You know some things. You know lots of things about your expertise. Tip number 3, you as the expert are there to show them the pros and cons of your expertise. Okay? You're going to show them the good side. You're going to show them the bad side. You're going to show both sides because it's very vital, because everybody's not in the same place. So you put the information out there and you allow them to decide what's the next best step for them. Okay? It's not taking anything away from you, but it's actually adding value to them because now they have both sides. And that's what you, as an expert, you show your audience both sides so they can make a qualified decision for their life, for their situation. Tip number 4, an expert with bona fide experience and knowledge, and not somebody giving them advice from what they heard or what they read. Okay? You've been there. You've done that. You've been through the trenches. You could tell them, what to do. You could tell them, advise them what to do. You could tell them what to avoid, not to do this because this will happen or that will happen, or they won't get the good results, or they won't get the results that they're looking for because, they chose this path when they should have chose that path. You see? It gives them, they can make their own decisions, like I said before, okay? You're not forcing anything, but you're giving them something where they can make that decision. Now, whatever decision they make, that's on them. But at least you have it out there. You put it out there to give them a choice. Tip number 5, an expert whose delivery brings a transformation, giving them immediate results. People need to have the answers to their questions now. Okay, right now. Because they're going through it right now. They don't need to find it a month from now, 3 weeks from now, 2 days from now. They need it right now. Right now. So that's why it's so important, to let your voice be heard. Aspiring author, I challenge you to unleash your brilliance and teach others what you already know. You must be developed in your expertise, because if you try to develop it while you're trying to write your book, guess what? People will sense that you really don't know what you're talking about. You have to know it. You have to know it. It has to be authentic. You have to know it. You can't be, trying to put something together. You have to know what you're talking about. Don't you know when there's things that you have read, there's conversations that you've been in, and you say, I don't believe that. Because it's not coming from a position of authenticity. It's being passed on what somebody heard, what somebody read, what somebody done. Okay? And it wasn't the person that was giving you the information, whether you were in a conversation with them or they were writing about it. Be authentic and have integrity. Here's another thing. Don't do anything or everything just for money, because you will ruin yourself before you even get started. You'll ruin yourself. Okay? There's a lot of things that you know. So why would you not want to write about what you know? And instead, you want to write about something that somebody else is their expertise and not yours. There are people like that. There are people like that. Because this is the popular thing. And get shut down right then before you even take off. It's a big world, but it could get small real quick. And you can get a name for yourself, and it's not a good name. This right here is unnecessary because everyone has expert knowledge in something. And I want to make you aware of this also. Just because you do not work outside of the home, maybe you never worked outside of the home, in the marketplace, you still know some things. You still have knowledge of some things. And it's for everyone to discover what your expertise is. Like I said, you don't have to have a job outside the home to have expertise. Your expertise is just as important as the ones who work outside of the home. Someone is searching for information that you are taking for granted. They're searching for that information. And you worried about how many people have written a book on this subject. You need to replay this video and you'll hear some other things that were already said. Now here's the key. What are you doing that people are always asking you questions about? What is that one thing that you do so well? Now find a quiet place and, after we get off this video, find a quiet place and reflect on the clues that I have given you on this video, throughout this video. Reflect on that. And you'll begin to discover some things about yourself. And with that being said, I want you to write me and let me know what you discovered about yourself. I would like to hear what you discovered about yourself. And that's always a enlightening part when people discover, oh, I had this all along, I know this like the back of my hand. How many times you heard that expression? How many times you heard that? So I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. Now, share this video with a friend or friends or, whoever wants to write a book, but somehow they're stuck. Okay, they're stuck. You know what it feels like to be stuck. They don't know which way to go. They want to do it, but they haven't done it yet. They haven't done it yet. So, thank you for joining me. Join me again for another broadcast of the Aspiring Authors Lab. I'm your host, Gertrude J. Chapman. Remember, this is your time. This is your season. This is your turning point. Have a great rest of the day.